All right, Attack on Titan Season 4, Part 2, Episode 2 has released, and this is going to be my review on the episode. And before I get into my review of the episode, I just want to make a disclaimer that nothing that I'm saying is directed towards the animators at MAPPA, because I know that the animators are under extreme pressure, and I don't want to hold anything against them. Everything I'm saying is directed towards the higher-ups, the people who make decisions for MAPPA, the CEOs, things like that, not the animators. All right, disclaimer over. Let's get into the review. I want to start off this review by saying that last review for episode 1, I feel like I may have been a little hard on MAPPA. I feel like some of the things that I was saying, it just wasn't like accurate. I wasn't really giving them a fair chance. I was comparing them way too much to Wit, and it just wasn't right of me to do that. I have to appreciate the fact that MAPPA was able to make Attack on Titan at all, because who knows what would have happened if they didn't make it. And not only that, but it was only the first episode, so they can only go up from there, and that's exactly what they did in this episode. Like, this episode of Attack on Titan was honestly the best episode of Attack on Titan of all time. Like, honestly, I don't even think Wit could have done this episode better than them. MAPPA deserves all the kudos and rewards and credit for that. I don't know how they were able to make this episode in such a short amount of time, but this was honestly the best episode of Attack on Titan ever made. And that's the end of the review, really. I have nothing else to say other than that. I'm honestly speechless. So you can just go ahead and leave the video if you want to. You don't have to stay. I'm just gonna leave a black screen on for the remaining 10 minutes so I can get the full YouTube ad revenue to pay my bills. But other than that, I just think it was a masterpiece, guys, and I appreciate you for watching. Yeah, so have a great day. What? Why are you still here? I told you that it's over. I'm serious. There's nothing else to see. You can go. I'm literally just going to be playing B-roll for the next 10 minutes. Trust me, there's nothing left here. You can go. It's the best episode ever made. All right. Psych! This episode was trash. Trash. I fell asleep almost 2 times watching this. This was garbage. This was hard to sit through. I was so impressed by how bad this episode was. I could not believe how much they fucked up. I cannot believe how much they fucked up in this episode. In the last episode, at least there was something positive I could say. I could not find one good thing about this episode. Everything about this episode was boring. The only thing they did that was alright was play OG music, and it was over the most boring moment in the episode. I felt no weight, no impact, nothing mattered. I was just going through the motions. It felt like I was just watching a slideshow of events, like an Attack on Titan summary of this chapter. And then okay, let me start from the beginning. Okay, so remember that last scene from the last episode that I said lasted way too long and needed to be split up? Well, not only does the episode start off from the beginning of that scene, they show the whole fucking scene. They start the episode off with the whole scene, and then they add on the extended parts where they go into conversations about, what they believe about Eren. They go a little bit deeper or whatever. But why did they include the whole scene? This is precious time. It was 2 minutes they spent on this scene that we just saw in the last episode. Why would they do that? Why would they waste time on that? Why would they waste my time on that? As if this in conversation is even that important to begin with, that it needs to be told twice. Why would they do that? I don't understand. Alright, so maybe you're thinking I'm overreacting, right? Maybe they did spend a little bit too much time showing old scenes from the last episode, but now the episode's begun, and they're gonna show us some new stuff to get us invested in the new part of the story, right?
Hey, I doubt it!
They then show us the scene where Reiner stabs Eren again for some reason, even though that was the cliffhanger of the last episode. I'm not quite sure why they are spending so much time, so much precious time in these 22-minute long episodes showing stuff that we already know happened for this amount of time. And it's not even important stuff. What? And I'm sorry. I know I said in the last episode that I think that Mappa adapts the anime too faithfully to the manga. And to an extent, I still believe that is true. But sometimes they don't even adapt the right scenes correctly. And this is one of. Now, real quick, look at this scene, right? If I were asking you to adapt this scene, I was asking you to adapt this scene, this manga right here, into anime form, into animation, right? If you saw this, what would you come up with? Would it look anything like this?
You know, you're cracking your neck for pain relief, a lot of people.
Sure.
You could actually make things worse, especially like if you have a disc problem in your neck.
Right.
And you could actually make that disc problem worse by cracking it.
Right.
Tell me, like, honestly, this is what you would have come up with. Like, this is what you would have thought was the best way to animate that? I don't believe you. But all right, let's try again. Maybe that's just me. What about this scene? How would you animate this scene if you were in charge of animating Attack on Titan? You know, what would you do with this? Would it look like this?
Another happy landing.
How is a manga panel able to make me feel more than an entire animation is? Can someone explain this to me? They didn't incorporate any music, anything. All you hear is the sound effects of the ships falling. It reminds me of the fucking trailer for the Mummy movie that released a few years ago. Like, I don't understand how you make things worse. If you aren't going to make it better, at least make it the same. Don't make it worse. Now, I do appreciate that they used some OG music in this episode for like 15 seconds. It was very well done. And I do also appreciate that they did incorporate some 2D here and there, especially for the Beast Titan. It looked really nice when they did that. That was good. I appreciate that they gave the 3D model for the Attack Titan a second walk animation. That was pretty neat. But other than that, this episode was completely boring. I felt nothing. There was way too many times where there was no sound whatsoever. If there was any sound, it was very bland, boring, cliche. It was just a boring episode, and I've never equated Attack on Titan to being boring before now. And like, honestly, it was the most boring episode of Attack on Titan I've ever watched. Even season 4 part 1 wasn't this boring. Like, it was boring, but not to this degree. Like, this was just like, it was a chore to sit through because, well, half the episode was flashbacks and the rest of it just wasn't that good. So I'd give this episode, of all the Attack on Titan episodes, a 2 out of 10. And I'd give, as far as Mappa's production of Attack on Titan, I'd give it like maybe a 4 out of 10. I just wasn't impressed by anything I saw here. Really hope that they do better next week, man.
What is this nonsense? I can't believe I paid $6 for this.
Quiet! This is the best part!
That's it. I'm out of here.
This video is the biggest load of hoo-ha I've ever seen. Why do you insist we watch this stupid thing?
Am I the only one who understands the complexities of this ambitious cinematic masterpiece? This movie isn't stupid! You're stupid!